So subject to, that stands for subject to the existing loan. So you're buying the house subject to the existing loan, which means a couple of things I'm gonna go over with you. People think of a house, they think of it as all in one. You have to break it apart. There's two parts of a house. Forget the actual structure. There's the piece of paper, which is known as the deed. That is who legally owns the house. The loan is who is obligated to pay for the house. So when I buy a house subject to the existing loan, I'm leaving the piece of paper or the loan, I'm leaving that in the other person's name, and I'm assuming that loan. So I'm gonna pay it, but it's still gonna come to that person. The deed will be transferred over to me. So if you have your deed and you have your loan packet, and let's say you bought it from Mr. Johnson, so every month, this is gonna be Mr. Johnson here, he's gonna get this letter in the mail that has a bill for $2,500, whatever the mortgage note is, okay? This deed is gonna go to PIR Texas, because I always put them underneath my LLC, okay? So I own the property. I do not own the loan. I'm gonna pay the loan because I wanna keep the bank happy so that they don't try to take this back, because they still have a lien. So the bank over here, let's just call it B of A, okay? So Bank of America, that's who you're paying, all right? Now what they do is they put a lien on this piece of paper. So that lien,
Which is the deed.
right, which is the deed. So this lien will allow them to come back and take this away from you if they needed to. So it doesn't matter who's on it. They don't care really who's on it. What they care is they still have control over it. So if this
Okay.
is not getting paid.
Question?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the loan, even though it's in the person's name that had the loan originally, this keeps it from going on their credit, so that's their benefit with like a down payment, take up notes to not ruin their credit. Even though the deed's in your name, the loan stays in their name. And their benefit is it don't ruin their credit because
Well, I'm going to be fixing the credit. 'Cause
they don't have a
obviously-
foreclosed house.
Yeah, so if they're doing this, they're already in pre-foreclosure or foreclosure, okay? So when it's happening, this person, Mr. Johnson, his credit score is just tanked. It's, 450 credit score, something like that, okay?
It's like mine.
So what ends up happening is I'm gonna buy this house, I'm gonna pay back whatever the rears are. So inside of this, let's say he's behind $8,000, okay? I'm going to pay the $8,000. 8K. So I'm gonna pay that to Bank of America. Bank of America is now going to, they're gonna be happy, they're gonna release they're gonna take it out of foreclosure, okay, so they're gonna release the foreclosure. Now, in return, I'm gonna have him transfer this deed to my name, just like you would a normal house. He's gonna transfer it to Property Investments and Restoration. However, I'm gonna keep the loan in place. So every month, I'm gonna make $2,500 payment, not to Mr. Johnson, but I'm gonna actually kind of bypass this and go straight to Bank of America. So every month, I'm gonna write a check to B of A for $2,500. In return, this stays clear. If I ever don't make this payment,
Goes back into foreclosure like it was when you found it.
exactly, and what ends up happening is it goes into foreclosure, they can take it back from Property Investment and Restoration.
And then the person who originally had its credit still gets screwed.
Yeah, this person's credit would go back down. Now, in the meantime.
So do you
every time-
usually give down payments? I know you said you pay off the $8,000,
Yeah,
if that
okay.
was whatever it was behind.
It really depends on the property and how much value's in it. Like, some of them,
Like your
I'll
house.
make a difference.
Your
yeah.
house is
So,
400 and something $1,000.
Right, so one of my houses, I didn't pay anything. I just straight paid the $9,000 that was in the rear, and I took over the house.
And they walked away.
And the other one, I paid the $14,000 that was in the rear, and then gave them $10,000.
Okay.
So it just kind of depended. Now, every month that I make this payment, this guy's credit's gonna go, maybe up a little bit. I don't know, it depends on his other bills and how mature he is. But it's gonna start to help him because it's gonna show that Mr. Johnson is paying
It's
his
responsible.
bills.
Right, okay,
Even
gotcha.
though he's not really paying them. He lives over here somewhere now.
Okay.
So, but because I'm doing that, if he's doing everything else correctly, it should start to raise his credit. Now, if I quit paying on it for some reason, it's gonna bring it back down to this, yes, but he was already at that. So that is a subject to the existing, the subject to the existing loan, okay?
Thank you,
That's
Kyle.
it in a nutshell.
Now, can you give us example of the foreclosure list housing, with the 70%
Yes.
and
Yeah. Give me a
remodeling?
second. We'll put that one on a different video.
Okay. Say
Jeff
bye,
just walked
Heather.
in. Bye, Heather.